Well, a winter storm gave you a raw, wet, windy commute to work this morning in Boston. You had rain heavy at times and temperatures in the 30s, but the wind chill made it feel like 10 degrees. All right, good morning. Welcome to WeatherScope. I'm Rick Griffin. The scene in Boston was repeated in many locations in the Northeast this morning, and the rain, the snow, and the wind continues. So for the latest, let's go to the Forecast Center and Dan Atkinson. Dan?
Thank you, Rick. Here in the Forecast Center, we are watching the slow progress northeastward of an intensifying low pressure area east of New Jersey, east of Cape May, New Jersey. Because of the slow movement of this storm, it's going to mean a continued windy day and night for you in many parts of the Northeast, particularly Boston and New York. Boston right now, you have winds gusting to 40 miles per hour coming in out of the Northeast. And a broad area of precipitation, as you see, thanks to the moisture coming in from the Atlantic, northeasterly winds at Boston, northerly winds at New York, and northwesterly winds coming into the nation's capital, and that's actually resulted in some drier air for you and a break in the precipitation around Washington and Baltimore. But you can see where as this moisture rides into the higher elevations, this is an elevation event, which means that as this moisture rides in, climbs to those higher elevations, the air cools on rising and it condenses, and it's resulting in light snow over much of upstate New York. Occasionally there are some heavy snow bursts, places like Utica, New York. You've had some moderate snow, some heavy snow at Avoca, Pennsylvania. Windy weather along the coast, particularly from Merrimack River, Massachusetts, on up toward Eastport, Maine, with storm warnings in effect for your area. Also the potential for some heavy surf from the North Carolina-Virginia border on up toward Fenwick Island, Delaware. And additionally, coastal flood advisories in effect. Actually, coastal flood warnings from Montauk Point, New York to Little Egg Inlet, New Jersey. Well, you had some flooding overnight, not due to tides or ocean waves coming in, but due to prolonged heavy rain. You woke to flooded streets in Freeport, New York this morning. Freeport is on Long Island, and it rained all night in your area, and the rain was heavy at times. Rain will continue throughout much of the day. In addition, conditions will be windy and cold. Well, in New York City, you had heavy rain, particularly around midnight, and in the hours since then, the rain has tapered off to occasional drizzle at times and moderate rain at times. Right now, it's patchy light rain across New York City. We do have heavy rain, though, still reported in the Boston area, as well as at Norwood, Massachusetts to the southwest. Bradley Field in Connecticut reporting some windy and wet weather with some heavy rain occasionally there. Snow falling over most of upstate New York, and as noted, some of the heavier snow has fallen over parts of Pennsylvania, where portions of Blair County has picked up as much as 15 inches of snow, and also in westernmost Maryland and Garrett County, 6 to 8 inches of snow reported there. This system, because of its slow movement on toward the northeast, will be continuing to produce wet and windy weather for you in many areas, particularly across eastern Massachusetts. You will still be buffeted during the day. In fact, because of wind gusts to 58 miles per hour at Buzzards Bay on Cape Cod, the ferry service has been suspended. At last report, suspended from Woods Hole to Martha's Vineyard and Hyannis and Nantucket. If you're going to be traveling today in the inland areas, be prepared for some slow travel due to widespread snow and also some wintry mix. Augusta, Maine reporting some light freezing rain in the past hour. And the snowfall would be heaviest, as you see, from the mountains of northeastern Pennsylvania on up into central portions of Maine. This is what you might call a mild storm system, not bitterly cold temperatures, that is, until you factor in the winds. And right now in Boston, your wind chill is 8 degrees or 9, 17 your wind chill at New York, and 16 at Philadelphia. That's the latest on this nor'easter. We'll be updating you every half hour here from the Forecast Center. And now back to the studio with Rick Griffin, who'll be standing by to tell you all about your own weather and your forecast.
Well, thanks, Dan. In the west, we have some stormy weather today as well, with heavy snow expected in parts of Arizona, Utah, portions of Nevada. And it's the same storm that hammered Southern California last night with heavy rain and mudslides. Let's go to Southern California. Heavy rain in Laguna Beach early this morning led to this mudslide that damaged 2 homes. Rescue crews had to free a number of people trapped in the debris. 10 people were injured, all totaled up. Now, the rain will taper off in this area by afternoon, but the threat of more mudslides will continue. By the way, in Southern California, there are numerous road closures that have taken place. We understand the roads into Camp Pendleton are closed, and the Pacific Coast Highway at Laguna Canyon is closed due to a mudslide. In addition, the air mass is extremely unstable. So a couple hours ago, a weak tornado touched down at Huntington Beach. Briefly did a little damage there. Plus, there's been 3 feet of snow in the Southern California mountains at 7,000 feet and above at the ski resorts. This is rain, of course. Mount Wilson since Sunday evening, almost 11 inches of precipitation. And the 2.32 inches of rain that have fallen in Los Angeles since Sunday evening brings the February total to 13.62. That makes it the wettest February ever in Los Angeles, breaking a 114-year-old record. And there are still a few days left in the month, and a little more rain is on the way, as you can see here on the Southern California radar. Now, most of the action is in San Diego County, and right on the coast here, reports of heavy rain and hail. Again, we have very cold air in the upper levels of the atmosphere, a very unstable situation, and even a few funnel clouds and cold air tornadoes are possible in San Diego and Riverside County during the next few hours. The main part of the energy from the storm, though, is shifting into Arizona and Utah, all the way from Cedar City to Salt Lake City. The snow is flying, and the ski resort of Alta has picked up 17 inches of snow overnight and another 6 to 12 inches in the forecast for today. But you know, perhaps the heaviest snowfalls will be in Arizona, believe it or not, right here on the rim near Williams and Flagstaff. Upwards of 1 foot to 1.5 foot of snow from now through midnight tonight. So if you have travel plans on Interstate 40, be aware that some really rough traveling conditions may develop in Arizona's rim country. Here comes the storm on the satellite through the west. Very cold air here. You can see the popcorn appearance to the clouds, indicating a very unstable air mass. One low pressure center, Utah, the other one approaching the Southern California coast with a few thunder showers very close to that center of low pressure. 56 in San Diego, 21 Cut Bank, Montana. It's 40 in Denver. Let's go east of the Rockies. We've got a couple of weather stories. It's mild in Chicago. It's mild in St. Louis. It's in the 50s. We have a light rain snow mix across Michigan, including Detroit and Pontiac. No accumulation expected. And how about the south? Well, the southern states, it's sunny, it's clear, high pressure overhead. Boy, is it going to be a warm day coming up. Spring fever in the southern states, no doubt about it. Meanwhile, the southwest and the northeast stay stormy with locally heavy precipitation. Let's get a quick check of some cities. 39 in Boston, 47 in D.C. today. Look at Atlanta. Not